Welcome to P, S prepositional phrase sentence pattern number 9. But first, let's review. Anytime you see an S in any of those sentence patterns, what you're going to have? That's right. You're going to have a subject. You're going to have a verb, and it's going to make sense by itself. And every time you do that, you'll write a different sentence pattern, such as S, FBS, where you have a sentence, a comma, one of your 7 fanboys, and another sentence. Those fanboys give you the option to use either for and nor, or yet, so, and then, instead of the fanboy, you could put a semicolon in between. S semicolon S is where you have a sentence, a semicolon, another sentence, and then you're doing that because your sentences are related anyway. You're going to put that semicolon in place of a comma in between S, S, because S, S is all lies. You know that by now. Sometimes you're going to stick a CA in the middle for a little variety, where you'll have a sentence, a semicolon, a CA, a connecting adverb, another comma, and a sentence. Those connecting adverbs are words or phrases that can connect those sentences by describing either how, when, where, why, or how much they are related. A few example CAs are with weeping and gnashing of teeth, or 5 minutes later, or in the kitchen, or the classic ones like furthermore and however. When you're not writing an S semicolon CA comma S, you might be sporting a DC or a DC comma S or an SDC. With a DC comma S, you start with a dependent clause, which introduces your sentence, so you're going to put a comma and then your sentence, or maybe you'll put a sentence and follow it with your dependent clause. Either way, you need to know that a dependent clause has 3 things. It has a subject, it has a verb, and it starts with a nonsense, that's right, word. Let's do this. After, although, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. As if, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. As soon as though, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. Because, before, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. Even if, even though, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. How, if, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. Since, so far as, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. So that, unless, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. Until, when, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. Whenever, wherever, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. Whereas, wherever, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. Whether, while, subject, a verb, and a nonsense word. I switched it up a little bit there for you. That's all right. All right. We've also already learned P, S participle phrase. That's where you have a phrase, a comma, and a sentence. Remember, a phrase has no subject and a verb. With a participle phrase, you're going to start with an ing or an ed word, such as, these are the same ones from last time, searching through the perfect workout. Sally browsed through all the Jane Fonda VHS tapes at the local Goodwill. Searching for the perfect workout starts with an ing word and describes Sally. And then you can also use an ed word. Determined to get into shape before summer, Sally promised herself she would work out at least 3 times a week. Determined starts or ends with an ed and describes Sally and therefore qualifies as a P, S. Last time we learned infinitive phrase, which is a phrase, a comma, and a sentence. A phrase, infinitive phrase, just like participle phrase, has no subject and no verb. And this time it starts with the word to plus a verb. Like to improve her grade in math, Sally decided to see if Uncle Joe remembered anything from his high school days. This qualifies as a P, S infinitive phrase because it describes Sally, which is the subject of our sentence, and it starts with to plus the verb improve. Or, to get her baby cousin to eat his cauliflower, Sally pretended like they were sheep who had been really bad. So this qualifies as a P, S because it describes Sally, and it starts with the word to plus the verb get. Finally, the moment you have all been waiting for, we're going to talk about P, S prepositional phrase. Once again, that's a phrase, a comma, and a sentence. And a prepositional phrase, just like any other phrase, will have no subject and a verb. But this time, it's going to start with something that a rabbit can do to a log that's not a verb. For example, a rabbit can go on a log, or off a log, beside a log, behind a log, around a log, through a log. There he is. It can also go as a log. Let's pretend it's a Halloween party. Or if you're into personification, with a log or not. It can go for a log. There he goes. We are the champion. He's going for it. My friends. He went for it and the crowd goes wild. So a preposition is anything that a rabbit can do to a log. A prepositional phrase is anything that a rabbit can do to a log plus a noun. And that's what's going to start your P, S. So, for instance, a rabbit can go without a log. See ya. And without plus you is our prepositional phrase. Without you, I would be so lonely. Without is a preposition and you is my noun. A rabbit can go between two logs. So, between school and my job, I have no free time. Between is my preposition. School and my job would be two nouns. Introduces the sentence, I have no free time. A rabbit can go against a log. Okay. A rabbit can go in a log. And there he is. Okay, so you can have two prepositions in one. For example, you can go against all the odds in the entire game. Sally emerged as the victor. Against is your preposition. All the odds is your noun. In is your preposition. The entire game is your next noun. Both of these work together to describe Sally. So some common prepositions that you want to jot down and become familiar with are aboard, about, above, after, against, along, amid, among, around, as, at, before, behind, below, beside, besides, between, beyond, by, concerning, despite, down, during, except, for, from, in, inside, into, like, near, of, on, onto, opposite, out, outside, over, past, pending, regarding, since, to, toward, under, until, up, upon, with, within, and without. Some of these work better in our rabbit of log kind of example. You have to imagine, like Jesus of Nazareth, he would be rabbit of log. Pending means that you're waiting for it. So it would have to be like pending the log's removal, the rabbit's going to be a lot happier. Some of them don't work very well, but for the majority of them, you can ask yourself, is it something that a rabbit can do to a log? And that will answer whether or not it's a preposition. So now, you know 9, count them, 9 different sentence patterns that you can use. And by using all 9 of those sentence patterns, you will certainly have variety. And by mixing them up purposefully, you will certainly have flow and you will be a better writer. Professional writers mix up their sentence patterns on purpose all the time. So the more you incorporate a variety of sentence patterns, the more you will sound like a professional yourself. There is one more video where I teach you how to combine these sentence patterns into combos and give yourself infinite possibilities of different sentence patterns. Tune into that one when you've mastered all 9 individually.